Hello everyone and welcome to ZankCast, where we interview members of the Bay community. For this episode, we'll be taking a look at a blader from Singapore, the legendary Beyblader 101.
Thank you so much, Zankye. I'm honored to be here.
So, just give a little introduction to yourself to viewers that are wondering about you.
I'm Beyblade 101. You can call me Yasin, that's my real name. I have been playing Beyblade ever since I was a kid. But I've been playing non-competitively in Metal Fight. And then in Beyblade Burst in 2017, that's when I started playing competitively in WBBA tournaments. So it's been quite a while. Yeah.
No, sorry. I was gonna say, what kind of was your introduction getting into Beyblade?
Introduction. Okay, so when I told my friends this, but for those who don't know, how do you call it? Like, there's this holiday, the festive season for Malays, Muslims. It's called the Idul Fitri. We go for house visiting. When I was younger, I went to my cousin's house, and then he introduced me to Beyblade, and that's where I got hooked. I was like 7 or 8 years old. Ever since then, I was so hooked that I wouldn't go home until he gave me some of his spare parts. He gave me one of his stadiums or whatever. Then ever since then I've been playing Beyblade. I stopped for a while though in I can't remember, 2014, 2013. Then I started again in 2016 and then 2017. Started competitively. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so then what brought your interest into trying to get into the competitive side for Beyblade?
I like customizing Beyblades. I think the idea of improving the performance of a Beyblade is pretty it's a nice idea. I'm not a casual blader. I'm not an aesthetic type of blader. I'm more of I want to see my Beyblade perform well. Because there's different bladers and there's nothing wrong with doing different things, right? But I'm not aesthetic. I'm not here to find the best blue color Beyblade or when people do photography shots. I purely competitive. I like to see my Beyblades perform well. That's it really. And I like to battle against other people.
Right. So the next thing I kind of wanted to ask, is your area supported by the WBBA?
Yeah. We are in Asia, right? Singapore, Southeast Asia. So we're heavily WBBA, yeah.
Right.
Only recently I started bringing WBO.
So kind of just for your experience, because you've kind of done both and you kind of seen both sides, what is your perspective on on how WBBA runs things, the official events, versus WBO? Are there some things maybe one more than the other, that type of stuff?
First of all, I think that the WBO does a great job for a community run event and forum in general. It's a great community and it's credible and reputable. WBBA is more towards if it feels official. When you go to tournaments, the prizes there are grand because it's sponsored, it's free. Yeah. But at the same time, sometimes when you play WBBA tournaments, you feel you have a bit of lesser of a control. Kind of because WBBA is only one rule and only one format, right? Especially when it's at that time. For example, if you're playing Burst, then there's only Burst WBBA because Metal Fight is long gone. But at least for WBO, there are legacy formats for older formats that people want to play, and they're different. Even in Burst, there's different Burst formats. So I think WBO excels in trying to how do you say
give the options.
Yeah, give the options, correct, to the community, because it's community run and the community knows what the community knows the best lah. So I think that WBO is great in that aspect of catering towards community.
Yeah, I would say that too. I do know that recently that TAKARA TOMY has been kind of pushing more for the fans. There's a lot of fan tournaments now, leading into Beyblade X, where they're offering to sponsor for Bay points or whatever. What I thought was really interesting would be that they're the relationship between like the company and like at least for TT, and not for Hasbro, but like they actually care about what the fans want. And I thought it was interesting because doing the WBBA, it kind of does need the WBO, right? Because like we're the guys who fund them so much.
Yeah, I guess so. Because TAKARA TOMY is really they listen to fans in Japan rather than the whole of Asia. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if they listen to fans outside of Japan, but
Yeah.
if anything, yeah, they listen to Japan fans, I'm sure.
I was gonna say, because when they're gonna be expanding to global, probably like the more fans that host these events are kind of for the better for them. I don't know how the process will work, even if we'll eventually somehow get it to where maybe like global is like actually global hosted event stuff. But I do think maybe if they want to spread Beyblade X around, it would be interesting to kind of see involvement with a lot of fan stuff, because especially when you consider like the culture in like Asia countries, it's not like the same way you could probably run events here. Like in the US, probably way different trying to set up.
Yeah, it's the different environment. I was thinking too. People in different parts of the world have different mindsets and different culture. It's gonna be different. It's never gonna be the same. Two places are not gonna accept the same set of rules. Even in WBO tournaments, you see that people have different opinions on different. Even though we have the same rule set. Well back then, but yeah.
Yeah, I was also gonna say, because you were mentioning about how the WBBA is very much just like it's one path, it's until it's the end, and it's a specific rule set. That's kind of where I want to bring it to a real benefit. Recently, they got announced on the WBO, which was clauses, just to give the context to the viewer. Before, WBO was kind of more like just one specific rule set, but now they're like specific clauses in ban lists where you can have one specific thing banned, one thing allowed, like there are specific clauses listed. So I kind of was wondering on, your perspective on the competitive side, what do you think of now seeing a lot more options to actually host and play?
The funny thing is, at first I was kind of against it because I felt that ranking should be consistent for all. I did say this I did say this to someone, but like I think that I like that rank stays consistent throughout like different areas. But the more thought I gave to it, like when I talk to more people, I realized that I don't think it's possible for Beyblade. Beyblade is just too diverse, and people have too much differing opinions to keep a constant rule set. But so when the when the change got announced, I started to think about it. I think it's a really good change, and I'm happy that it got through. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially too because like TAKARA told me he has heavy bias to whatever they're selling, so that's like the meta. That's why
Definitely.
yeah, that's like why like DB and BU, like the stadium's a stamina type stadium, and all the driver meta is literally just stamina. Like you can't.
I dislike the
You
stadium.
can play attack, but not really.
Yes.
So I kind of wanted to ask before we kind of transition to any X talk, because you obviously like a lot of WBBA stuff, and like, what do you think of the DB stadium?
I've talked about it before. I think the DB stadium, like, not even a politically correct answer. I dislike it. I'm just gonna say I dislike it, but it brings a unique gameplay. Like, no, unique's not the right word for it. I think it's just different. Instead of focusing solely on the battle itself, I think that it's stamina based, right? So a lot more focus has to go into making your Beyblade parts, your Beyblade combo. Sorry, make sure it's balance tuned, and also if you're playing like 5G on a DB stadium, you're gonna make sure you put it in the right order. I think the skill in trying to use the DB stadium, the skill comes from pre-battle, like how you set up your base and how balanced tune. Because I mean, if two base are the exact same win BDR combos, then what matters most is most likely balanced tune, right?
Yeah.
So that's where your skill comes in. So I think in a way it's different. I'm not gonna say I like it. I dislike it a lot, especially when attack is nerfed to that point. But hey, if you like stamina, go for it. DB Stadium. make sure you you your base properly and set up your base correctly. Because even on one small error, because I played private tournaments and DB Stadium, and like sometimes people just don't tune their base and they lose all the time even though they have the same combos. So yeah, definitely combo making is important.
Yeah, I think that's the good thing about the WBO, which is the freedom. Because imagine if everyone was forced to play DB, I think we would all quit at that point because that stadium.
Yeah, definitely.
I had to make an experimental rule set on the different kind of points just to make people sign up, because I think what's actually ironic is that the X stadium is the same size as the DB stadium, so they understand how to design a stadium. They know what a KO means. They know how attack types work. It's just, I don't know. I feel like with how long X was in development, they probably were around they definitely were around the same time. It's just good to see how we finally transitioned to a stadium that's it feels a lot more balanced than the DB stadium, at least, which that's the main topic. That's the title for this. What are your thoughts on Beyblade X? We'll go on the initial impressions when you first saw it, and then after now.
Wait, before we go into that, I have a funny theory that linked from the DB stadium. I was thinking maybe this is far-fetched, maybe I'm just reaching, but
Go for it.
I have a feeling that perhaps they did end burst with a lot of stamina heavy parts, so when they move on to X, it feels like a fresh breath of air. You feel you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a marketing, I don't know, but hey, it's something that popped out in my head once, and I was like, perhaps.
That definitely could be something. I think also maybe they just realized, since sparking kind of how heavy stamina was, and they just thought maybe I also think could be definitely a gameplay thing, because it's definitely a whiplash either way. Even if you do the standard burst stadium, the first one, the X stadium is very different. I was very surprised because I thought before it was it's a basic thing. I didn't realize there's actually rails to guide and everything. I was like, whoa.
It was I was surprised that it had rails, but at the same time I was like, But I'm not okay, you're asking for a first impression, right? Going back to the question. I'm not very excited. I'm not as excited as the rest of the community is for I don't know. I'm thinking about how it can be competitively good. Because I saw the battles and everything. I feel like the battles end too fast. That's just my first impression.
Right.
How do you control base that are that fast? Right. I mean, you can control rubber flats. They have a good amount of time where it can flower. If you don't get it in few hits, then that's usually a Beyblade fault, skill issue, right? But how about Beyblade X, right? When the battles are so fast, and sometimes you can't even control where it lands and stuff, and what happens after a few hits. But I don't know. That's just my first impression. It can definitely change over time.
I was just gonna say for the X stadium, because I did a lot of practice with it. Definitely, it's not attack bias, because a lot of people say it's attack bias. It's not, because if you try to hard launch, you can just self KO and die, right? No.
Yeah.
A lot of it is aiming your trajectory and trying to match your opponent. It's a lot more focus there, and also focusing how you take the path. And not even just that too, it's also trying to see where it's even though it's not really an advantage, depending what side you are in the stadium, if you just do a basic flat launch, there is a difference, but a lot of it I feel is going to be focused on how you launch in terms of strategy, even for defense. Because, was it Needles on, Night Shield, and if it goes up against, an attacker like Drawn Sword, depending where you launch Night Shield, if Needle just holds on there, Needle will definitely outspin any, Drawn Sword, attack thing. So I think it's not the traditional sense, is what I'm trying to get at. It's very new.
So Beyblade X, I told my friend this, but it just changes the foundation of Beyblade, I feel. The entire thing has changed, right? how you strategize, how you launch, how the Beyblades perform. Even the stadium has changed. The stadium is a core part of the generation. Unlike other generations, like Burst, for example, can play on any stadium. But Beyblade X to work, you have to use that stadium. So even in that sense, it has
Yeah.
changed. The foundations of Beyblade has changed in Beyblade X. So which is why, I don't know, I'm a bit hesitant, but I'll probably enjoy it when it comes out. So just take my words with a grain of salt. But like, I'll wait
Right.
till it comes out, then I'll test it out for myself because change is something that I'm a bit hard to get by with.
Right.
You know, I need time to get used to change. With the point system too, right? So we have normal outspins, knockouts. So there's 2 knockouts and burst, right? So everything has changed. It's very different from the previous generation. So it's definitely gonna be unique. That's my first impression. Yeah.
I was gonna say, would you think of at least like the system type of design? Because we have things where now like the resistance is on the bottom. We go back to the heights of metal fight and literal like metal contact stuff.
Oh yeah. I didn't really catch up with that actually. I know about the hikes, but the burst resistance stuff. I saw from group chat with my friends. I think the circles affect it, right?
Yeah.
The bigger the circle,
The
more burst resistance.
So the bit is what holds it together, and the ratchet needs to twist. So how tight your bit is going to be how much force it takes to turn the ratchet. So it's definitely a better design than teeth. So I'll take what I can get.
I think it's an okay design, but like to really make a solid opinion, I need to see it by myself.
So then I was gonna say, when's your area supposed to get X? Because I know in the past, depending where in Asia, like there are like a few months delays. Like the delays kind of vary. But when are you expecting to get X?
It should be November. It was announced officially on the Singapore Beyblade Facebook page. Yeah, so it's should be November.
That's not too bad then. That's like August, September,
compared
October.
to
4 months.
Compared to Beyblade Burst, was released in Japan in 2015, correct? It was released in Singapore late 2016 or early 2017, around there. I got my first Beyblade Burst at 2017 during my birthday in April. So so there's that.
And I think something just to mention with the releases, there's a big difference is that in the past there was always usually like a much larger month delay. Like for North America, it's usually like a year difference. Now it's like I'm pretty sure they got us still. If they want it to be global, they can't do the year difference anymore. They said 2024, but 2024 can just be like God knows what. So
November 2024 still.
I hope not at the end of 2025. I don't want to be stuck with no more bursts. I'm okay. I'm okay with the Hasbro bays. But at least in terms of like the bays that you've seen, obviously, impressions on hand. At least maybe like design-wise, is there any bays, that kind of calls their name? Is it like the tier list that you have, like number 1 and like the one you just think looks like garbage at the bottom?
I don't really like the aesthetics I don't like the design of Beyblade X. I forgot to mention from first impression. I didn't like the design of Beyblade X as well. I'm not sure if I'm the only one with this opinion.
No,
but it felt bland. It felt bland. It felt a bit fake. A bit like it reminded me of
it's
fake.
a big departure from Burst.
Yeah. It's very For now. I mean, we're just seeing the first season of base, right?
Right.
I mean, it could be like it's definitely going to evolve over time and see how heavy and how much more complicated the system gets. I have
I was gonna say just like go for like whatever the list is, even if you don't like them, I guess.
Oh no, I forgot another first impression. Like, I just hope that Bay X doesn't have the same Beyblade Burst problem where Beyblade Burst when it's released, it was marketed as like Burst, right? As the main gimmick, right? But at the end of Beyblade Burst, base rarely burst. So I was thinking like I hope Beyblade X doesn't take that path where base get too heavy to use the rails. Then that would be a bit embarrassing, right? especially when they're
Yeah.
trying to market it as a sport. But whatever they're marketing doesn't work, so they should definitely not do the burst way. Yeah.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I think the issue with burst is that in general this happens in middle fight too. Is that they try to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. But I honestly think you can keep like the exact same system from start to finish and like maybe just change the stadium or something. Maybe just like a real
Then
pattern.
the problem with that, okay, now I'm looking at it from the business perspective. They're
Right.
not gonna make too much money if all the base stay at the same power level. They have to
Yeah, probably not like
introduce power creep.
maybe just like
Yeah.
customization wise. Maybe they add like another part or something. Maybe like something like that. I don't think
Perhaps,
they can do too heavy, because then that doesn't work. Doesn't work. But like
Yeah.
like even Metal Fight was more or less, except till the end of like the second season. Like power levels was like it was they were kind of balanced.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they could
Um,
hit like 2 seasons at least.
I hope they do the same like Metal Fight, because Metal Fight, including like pre-hybrid, had like 3 seasons in a way.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Technically,
So yeah, the first three then.
yeah. Not sure how BX will go, but I hope so.
Right. Now listen, the top 5. We keep going back to it, man. Wizard Arrow, is it number 1? I gotta know.
Wait, I gotta check the images just to be double
Okay.
confirm. Wizard.
I gotta be sure. If you don't say Wizard Arrow number 1, I cut off the interview here. Okay, that's all we get. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay. I like John Sword. Oh no. That blue color bay. What's it called? Drake.
Drake. Everyone's Drake is number 1. Fair enough.
Yeah. It is my number 1 definitely. My number 2 is Dranza. I like Dranza.
I think Drawn Sword's the most hated one, actually.
Oh no.
Fair.
My most
Got good
hated would
takes.
be.
The Knight?
Wait. I need to see all the pictures of BX stuff. Hold on. I'm on the wiki right now. Where is the pictures? Oh no, the pictures are here. One of them. And it's not the attack types. It's not Drawn Sword. It's not.
Hellscythe?
Wait, can you go through the list of base again? Oh my god.
Okay, there's Drawn Sword, Hellscythe, Wizard Arrow, Night Shield, Drake. So Night Shield's the green one that kind of looks like it's kind of like a circle, kind of not really a circle, but like
Oh yeah, Night Shield, correct. Yes, I don't like that one. It's a circle. Design looks
Well,
weird.
it's a curved circle.
It's like it's curved circle. It's like the closest to a circle of the all, or maybe second closest.
Bottom is Knight.
Bottom is like Knight's okay. Knight's okay.
What about Hellscythe?
4. Oh, wait. How many base? Including Dranza S, there'll be 6 base, right?
There's Drake, Drawn Sword, that Scythe, Arrow, Shield. So that's 5.
Oh, you didn't mention Dranza S, did you?
Did I say Drawn Sword? I said Drawn
No, you
Drawn
didn't.
Sword, Hellscythe. No,
Yeah,
you
Dranza,
said
not
Drake.
Dranza.
Yeah, Drawn. Oh no! You don't count Drowns there, man. Drown's not even. That's a remake.
Oh, okay. I counted Dranza. Okay.
Drowns goes up. Come on.
All right. Top 5. I can only do top 3, and then the bottom 2 is somewhere.
Okay, top 3.
Drake. And then John Sword, and Hellscythe.
Damn, Wizard Arrow's below. Okay, that's
Yeah. Red is cool too.
it's a lot of controversy for this one.
But anyway, I'm not really into aesthetics, so I didn't really think too much about it. I want to see how the base perform. I think that's what
Oh
matters
yeah, of
more to me.
course. So
Yeah.
then, is there anything you maybe want to see like gimmick-wise them kind of introduce? Is there anything interesting from the past they think they could put in X that's realistic that you would want to see, or not yet?
I don't know if this counts under your question, but
Go for it.
I want to see rubber tips, not rubber flats. I want to see things like rubber sharp in Beyblade
Yeah.
X. I want to see how they perform. Yeah. It's not really a gimmick, but I want to see like how stupid defense can go, how top tier, because like attack can just go in the middle, right? I want to see how base can
Right.
deflect that attack. That will be very cool. I want to see base tank, because like in Metal Fight, for example, attack types are dominate, like they're dominating, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you can run attack. Generally, you should be able to win. It's just skill issue if you like miss or anything. But I feel like in Beyblade X, they can only go so far with attack, or else they'll lose control. But however, for defense, they can really make tanks. I want to see that happen. Not to Beyblade burst like level of tanks, but
Yeah.
I want to see Rubber Shark possibly make a comeback.
Especially too because defense and stamina are done a little bit differently. Because now since the bits have the resistance, I think it's like attack and balance have higher resistance currently right now than like stamina and defense. So I am curious too, because obviously you can't make a defense like I don't know. If it like when burst kind of has like defense, but it's kind of also stamina. They got to tread carefully on kind of how much resistance.
It's in burst. There was I like to categorize in burst as aggressive versus passive.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's no true defense. I mean, you can run defense, but like stamina types have already enough KO resistance. So,
Right.
Like there's almost no need to run defense. But talking about like burst resistance and stuff, I believe perhaps one way they can balance like tanks is to give it incredible KO defense, but like make it super bursty.
Yeah.
If they can make the burst resistance low but the KO defense high, perhaps it'll be worth it. Like you have to think lah. It's a specialization combo rather than generalist. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. So then, I think we kind of covered everything in particular. You know, we talked about burst, we talked about the meta, we covered X. Is there anything else about X you're kind of wondering about, or?
I don't know. I need to see the bay for itself. Like
Right.
I'm the type to make my opinions when once the base come. I really wish it came earlier, but it's okay. I'll take November because back then it was like 1 year plus gap. So a few months is okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, but can't you also, if you want to buy from Japan to bring into Singapore, you could also try that if you want.
Yeah, I can buy from parallel importers, but they're charging premium prices.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Nah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm too broke. No.
Okay then. Well then, as we kind of reach near the end, then is there anything you kind of want to plug or anything else, or like feel free because like the floor is yours.
I want to say that becoming like going onto the WBO was one of the best decisions I've made in my Beyblade career. Honestly, I'm very thankful for the WBO. I've met a lot of good people. Also, it helped me to organize my own tournaments. Going back to the WBO versus WBBA question you had just now, I think one of the good things about WBO is that there's structure, like the rule books and stuff. It honestly makes it easier for me to organize tournaments when in the community. I really thank the WBO for it. Like there's rule books and like proper structure and everything, so it's easy to run tourneys. Compared to WBBA, sometimes the rule books are a bit vague here and there. Also in WBO, you can talk to the staff members and just general public. Really happy it exists.
So where can people find you on your social medias if they want to check you out in the videos you do?
You can find me on my YouTube, Beyblade101 _ same with my Instagram. These two I'm very active at. You can find me in Discord. I'm very active in the WBO Discord. I talk there almost every day. I used to talk every day, but nowadays I got a bit busy with school and everything.
Right.
I'm still schooling, young boy.
Do you plan to, when you get X, do you plan to do a lot of videos covering it, or like type of content? What are your plans?
Because I'm not really a content creator. Perhaps I can venture into that, but my main aim is I want to do testings. I definitely want to do testings. A lot of testings. I've always been a tester. If you go to my YouTube, you see a lot of testing videos too. Not a lot, but because seeing and watching people do videos is different than you experimenting. So this is why I'm waiting to get it before I make any solid opinions. Yeah.
Yeah. See, if only everyone had the same kind of mindset trying to wait and test, because everyone always was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
it's like
this is trash."
yeah, I know. I know people in real life like that. But it's okay. Just wait, I guess. I gotta wait it up.
Yeah, because they'll have one opinion, they'll watch different videos, they'll be like, "Oh wait, I didn't realize it can do that." It's like,
Yeah.
test.
Definitely. Always gotta test, or at the very least, do a little bit more research. Because a lot of people give their opinions without doing much research. They just
Yeah.
make opinions just based on one video. I'll probably give it like 10-second clip, and then they'll be like, "Hey, yeah, I solid conclusion right there."
Yeah.
But
Okay,
Yeah.
man. Well, it was a pleasure to have you here. You can find Beyblader_101. There's the Instagram, YouTube, whatever socials that there is. I'll make sure to link in the description below. We are currently less than a week. Is it less than a week? I have to double check. I'm losing time already. I'm losing time mentally.
Isn't it 15th
No,
July?
it's in the 15th.
Wait,
sorry,
no.
sorry. Okay. We have a week and a few days for me to get it. 2 weeks. So we have that time frame.
Can't wait to watch your videos on it. Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you all for watching.
Finally.
Have an amazing day and bye.
Oh, bye bye.